Hi. So to be honest with you, it's not as if I like controversy, and I'm too young in my life and career to be drawn into controversy. But I personally have been pained about this whole Tosin and Monie Point thing, and I'm going to take the risk, at the risk of being dragged by a younger generation. And I'm going to share some insights. And this is for the young people who listen and follow me because I get a lot of kind messages. And I want to share my thoughts because some of you, I'm meeting you and you're all thinking that no, Tosin didn't try, he dragged Nigerians, blah, blah, blah. Now, if I have time, I'll do something. I want to publish something on critical thinking because this is where critical thinking is important. And critical thinking is a lot. Let me just tell you in no particular order why we missed the context. The first thing was he spoke after Anti-Kemi and he said, that's the former Minister of Finance, and he said Anti-Kemi. So he piggybacked. All of you ignored Anti-Kemi and went straight to him and took him on. Anti-Kemi also said Dangote. That's the Africa's richest man. That's the guy that is more, can you be more patriotic than Dangote in that sense? And Dangote said the same thing. So we left Dangote, we left Anti-Kemi, and we went to him. Now, he didn't say Nigerians are useless people or all the things that some people are saying. He said in the preceding year, we made a policy, we'll hire only Nigerians. Patriotic guy. But he said that decision cost his business a lot. I'm a consultant, right? We do business transformation. One of the things that, if you're doing transformation, is that the speed and the pace could mean the difference between life and death. In his own case, he had already said that because he told you who he's competing against. I want to make this point also, fellow Nigerians. You missed the boss on that one. You want to pack your money and send it to the east. I don't want to say more than that. You are packing your money and sending it to the east. He's telling you, I'm creating a unicorn that we're all proud of, and I want to keep the money here. After all, my name is, I'm a Nigerian, full-blooded Nigerian. But you guys don't understand, I'm coming against the East. The East has a bottomless pit of money. And it's like, hey, if I want to do slow and steady. Now, let me tell you the real thing, because in most times, when you have an issue, and let me tell you what pained me, to be honest with you, I'm going to say something very sensitive. People were thinking it's because Monie Point doesn't pay well and all that. Critical thinking. If Monie Point doesn't pay well, he already said he's going abroad to look for foreigners. So he's going to pay a premium for that price. Question. You think he doesn't want to pay cheaper rate? Of course he wants to pay cheaper rate. Now, I don't know the details. I've tried to do my research. I'm not sure, and I don't want to misquote. But I don't think they pay badly. I'm not sure. And we need the facts, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that he already is going to incur more costs, critical thinking, if he goes abroad. So his problem is not that. I will tell you what the real problem is. But before then, one more point. Follow me. Nigerians were making different comments. I saw all kinds of comments. I saw one lady, employers in Nigeria, they don't pay well. Well, it's true. Some employers don't pay well. Some true. Some employers, do their thing. It depends. And if you've not really been an employer, you cannot speak. Because such people, when they get to that point, they understand. One of the things that pain me is, I know a few people that were talking, and most of them were employees. Because we didn't really hear much from entrepreneurs. And a lot of entrepreneurs are private. They don't want to get into the hulu-baloo of all these things. So they usually entrepreneurs don't like controversy. And I understand some of them, their businesses, because competition, they don't want to come out. Most entrepreneurs are not active like that, except people that are into speaking engagements. Well, let's not go there. But here's the point. You're an employee. You've never really been an entrepreneur. With all due respect, you can't comment on the subject. You can't. You don't have context. That's number one. Number two, for someone who has built a unicorn. Do you know what it is to build a unicorn? In 2022, when I went to London Tech Week conference, there was a panel, and the panel was, they were talking about the burnout of a startup. And on the panel, they had 4 people. These are the 3 people I remember. Number one, there was a guy that had 6 months to die. He was on a wheelchair. He had cancer. The second one said he had a mental breakdown that his board had to give him time off. Like his mental whatever was so bad, they told him to take a year off. The third one walked through a divorce. That is the story of building an enterprise. You heard me. Entrepreneurship is capital H. Now, when you're now building a startup that you've achieved unicorn, and your investors are expecting 10x or some crazy X, we are proud of Tosin and we're proud of what he has done. And what Nigerians don't get, especially young people, because this one is not to anyone who is dragging. There's some older people like my age who are talking. I won't argue with them, who are probably done entrepreneurship, and they're saying things like, because I'm bringing all the arguments. They're saying things like, InterSwitch gave him a chance. Who said InterSwitch did not give him a chance? That's not the point. Who told he's not giving Nigerians? He's giving Nigerians. He's telling you that he's operating against a wall that is blocking him. In other words, I want to do it, but I can't find. So curiosity should stir us to say, what type of people should be like, what type of competencies are you looking for? Do you think the Nigerians that go abroad go there and they're doing mediocrity? And then they hear another argument that, people abroad pay well. With all this, when I hear that, and that's why I was angry, because of the critical thinking. Even people that work for big four or large organizations, you say their contemporaries in the particular part of the world earn this amount of money, while the ones in Nigeria and say it's discrimination. Not necessarily. It's the cost of living that is being. There's an adjustment that is made. Now, whether it's unfair or not is not the story. Follow my thinking. If you live in New York, your rent is like, maybe, depending on where, I'm just giving an example, maybe like $2,000 per month. Do the math, convert that to Naira. And then you live in Surulere. Or you say, no, it should be the same. Don't be ignorant, please. If you don't really understand how business works, if you don't understand business, please don't. I want to teach, my younger colleagues, don't talk. When you don't know, that's one thing we're learning early. Keep quiet. You will look very, I saw another argument. I worked for this firm. I saw this one, say he was a PA. They were paying him $60,000. He was working hard, but he was being mentored. He said what the value that was being mentored. But he had this foreign company and was doing freelance for them, and they were paying him some good money. Let me give you another argument. I have someone who resumed in a company abroad. I don't want to mention the country. He's a tech guy. And I know the way he struggled and got himself there. You know what he told me? I was trying to give him work. He said, Emmanuel, your work is too much. He said, where I work, I just make 1 or 2 changes. Listen to what he said. I'm not saying that is the story of everybody. But he said, I just make 1 or 2 changes. And that's it. That's my work for the day. No pressure. I don't know that thing has changed, but that's what he said. Guys, there's something called industry. I don't want to talk about it, but you'll be in an industry, maybe an accountant, this industry. You move to this other industry, still an accountant, and you're like, what's happening? It's differential industries. Industries vary, geographies vary. You're comparing with businesses abroad. Businesses abroad enjoy a level of government support that their governments fight. They close their borders, they protect them. There's all kinds of principles. These are businesses that were trading, that probably descended from 100 years, enjoying interest rates at 3%. You can't compare such businesses with someone that is paying 25%. That's the ignorance. So for me, I'm talking to my people, my mate and below. I don't want to talk to my egbons that don't agree with Tosin. With all due respect, they have their reasons, because especially they understand. He's not trying to say he's not giving Nigerians. He's saying that, and I've not made the point. I'm going to make the point now. And some of you don't like my answer, but it's fine, because most times some of us know the real issues, but you can't really say it because nobody will believe you. Apart from that, but that explains why the country is the way it is. Now, he talked about hookup culture, and he's saying that is significantly driving, people's perception to want to get rich early and all that. Yeah, that's it. We know that, and that has its place. And he knows everybody's do hookup. Tosin respects Nigerians. He got an opportunity in Nigeria and he became what he was. But let me tell you guys the secret, young men and women. This is the secret, young people. Tosin is looking for exceptional people. Yes, he's looking for exceptional people. People want to carry mediocrity. If you see the messages I received from entrepreneurs that reached out to me privately, because they didn't come out privately, I can't display the messages. Several messages from entrepreneurs talking about the issue, and they're like, they're saying it. So it's not, and then they know it's not that they're like, what are you saying? And then they started calling. One said, Nigerians celebrate mediocrity and they think he's looking for exceptional people. Listen, you can't build a money point and be average. You can't build a money point and leave the office at 5 o'clock. You can't build a money point and we're not only proud of what he's done, we need to understand what it takes to build a business that level, because they proved the impossible. They took on the giants that have been in the industry for donkey years and told them that financial inclusion was possible. That is what you should pursue. That is what you should learn. That is what you should be. That should drive your curiosity, not to open your mouth. You have not built anything. You're barely average on your job, like just barely average. If I ask your CEO, would you miss this guy if he resigns? And the guy said, I won't miss this guy. And you're talking on social media against someone that built a unicorn, someone whose children will never see poverty again. Do you understand? You're doing yourself. The guy has hammered and has cleaned out. Your criticism will not change anything. He's gone. Gone. His children have gone. You're here arguing with him. And he's telling you something. No. Young people, please be guided. And I'm telling people to repent of this because there's a grace you cannot attract that you criticize that you can attract. That one is a different podcast. So, listening to everything. And lastly, Emmanuel, what gives you the authority to say things you're saying? It's simple. I've been around for a while. Since 2011, I've been talking about this issue. If you follow me closely, check some of my articles, you'll see the conversation on the subject. And if you follow me online, I've been very, very specific on the matter. And all along, I always knew that there was a problem. Now, when I put out the post, I said, their roles are on field, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, listen, guys, the Nigerian employers are choosy. And it depends on what you're building. You can ask Steve Jobs. You can ask exceptional people. Who is an exceptional person? An exceptional person is a person that understands the vision of the business and takes responsibility for the consequences of that business. In other words, I think like the owner and I act like it. And I'm not doing it because I'm serving you now, because it's my father's business. I'm doing it because I'm doing myself. I'm building my own capability. So that whatever I'm faithful in another man's, God will give me my own. Simple. So young people, don't open your mouth and go and drag to. Instead, start asking, what type of competence is this? Because if you collect that competence, that means you are plugged into a river of a measure of prosperity and thinking. It's not average Joe. And a lot of us will regret this thing in our 50s. We'll realize that Tosin was right. And for those of you, when you finally start business, make sure you go back online the same way you spoke and apologize to entrepreneurs because you realize that it's actually not easy. Cheers.